Shills, August 20. Never use Discord. It's spyware in more ways than one. Spies are cool, pushed on children since 90s. Back in the 90s and 2000s, there would be these kits like, Learn How to Be a Spy. This book was written with the help of an actual real spy, and it had this really crappy motion detector that was terrible, and invisible ink pen that was terrible, and a crappy voice recorder, and, just stupid crap. But the main idea was, it was telling children that spies are cool. And then there's things like Spy Kids, and on a tangent, I've never seen Spy Kids or Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but you should know that they do this thing, and by they, I mean they with an echo, But there can be real things like real sharks, but they want everyone to imagine something fake. I could probably do a different topic on that some other time. There's copper sharks and basking sharks, those are real, but they want you to picture great whites and hammerheads, and those are fake. So, and not only that, lava's also fake, and there's the gender inversion thing. Sharks are associated with water, and that's feminine, and lava is associated with fire, that's masculine, and that's kinda present on the cover of the poster for Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Anyway, 90s speds boom got worse, not only vax but also bad lifestyle choices. And if you were there in the 90s, there was a lot of special kids born, and it only got worse, and it wasn't only from vaccinations, but also the 90s really were the beginning of the end. That's when fast food took off. And you know how fat moms go, baby wants to eat McDonald's, baby wants to drink high fructose corn syrup, exercise will hurt the baby. That causes brain damage in fetuses. Sugar spikes cause brain damage in fetuses. They come out as, they're damaged. It's really sad, and society's made out of bucket crabs, and the fat women are crabs in a bucket. They're horrible. Most women are trash. It's so, you can't even find a man, and you're not gonna find a good woman either. It's horrible. This is where we are. Sped shills seen on Reddit, YouTube comments, Discord, and other bad platforms. Notice their behavior. Parroting and pinging names so that their supervisors can see them in comment history. Probably special editions of these programs and sites for special users. And yes, I did make a pun. Shills are fixated on targeted people. You may have seen one particular shill hating on another shill for years, still going strong. One-sided shill war. And this is also on BitChute. I don't have time to get into this, but if you know who I'm talking about, they'll do that. Here's an example, lolcow/alog/troll shielding. I don't want to explain who alog is, but he really hates a certain lolcow, and a lolcow is basically an internet laughingstock. There's many of them. These initials might be familiar. ALR, CWC, etc. There's more. Basically, a logger is some strange jargon word to refer to somebody that dedicated their lives to hating on some internet laughingstock. It's pretty stupid. These people are stupid. All of them. Alright, back on the topic. Extreme fixation is a sign of autism, just saying. Brave New World, sped, free Martin class, gives you something to think about. Autists can be good with computers. It makes you wonder about long-term social engineering, what the powers that be knew about how digital tech will develop over the decades. And some previews from past decades about modern-day tech seem logical. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy had an e-reader, and there were some sci-fi shows that had touch tablets. Those make sense. And there's also some really old comics speculating about pocket telephones. And there'd be these illustrations of scenarios where pocket telephones would start ringing at inappropriate times. That was actually pretty logical. Hindsight's 2020, so we're not surprised that people in past decades were making these predictions. But there's another thing. E-readers should have come out before Game Boys did, because the Game Boy uses electric ink for the screen. So why did e-readers come out so recently when the technology was there before the 80s? It makes you think, why was there that delay? That we know about. There's secret technology we don't know about. Alright, thread sliding is what shills do to try and distract people from the topic at hand. News of all kinds is a never-ending thread slide. Gentle Person's Guide to Forum Spies. Required reading. You should read it. You should know transvestigation, know what male and female voices and fake people are like, so you can identify them from their speech alone. You should really know this stuff by now. We can't just sit here and repeat it over and over. You should know this by now. The information it started to come out in 2015 in a big way, but there have always been awoke people. But there's no excuse for not knowing this stuff. You people are late. Anyway, red flags. This is a long list. Red flags: arrogance, egotism, fixation on particular people and topics. They never ever deviate from bashing on people and topics. Obsession with names, personal identifiers. Incapable of admission to any sort of wrongdoing / perpetual victim. They're usually special, if you know what I mean. And yeah. These people cannot hold down normal jobs. This is their job. Ruining the internet even worse. Oh, monetization. That is always a red flag, or shall I say 33 orange flags, actually. Never ever reply to shills, or they will get paid. They'll harass you, so you must respond, and they get paid. So they'll harass you, but just block and ignore. You don't want to pay them. They pad out content and get ad revenue and ad placement of text articles. Yep, the love of money's the root of all evil, but yeah, money itself, gotta quit believing in it. It's just a thing laying around, like an inanimate object, but it's not good either. So yeah, they pad out their stuff with crap, much ado about nothing. Oh, obvious bias, but then again, real people have biases too, so that's a personal judgment call there. They give themselves away, learn what to identify, trial and error, live and learn, and look for trends. When you notice trends among groups of people, and you comment on the trends that you notice, you get shamed. You get shamed by gatekeepers, and if you point this out on the internet, you get dogpiled by shills. This will backfire if not for empty internet. Oh yes, it has a name, empty internet. That's what people are calling it. A lot of people are waking up to the reality of shills and bots and shadow banning, and it is called empty internet. And bots and shills can interact with shadow banned users to keep the illusion going that the person hasn't been shadow banned. See, they're really clever. They use stupid people to do their evil bidding, but the people pulling the strings are clever, and everything is an illusion. And shills, being special, will shoot themselves in the foot all the time, and their bosses are also special because they are pushing scripts for their underlings to follow, and it's just special ed turtles all the way down. Alright, situational inconsistency. They'll say A until their boss tells them to say B. There's no logic. That's just the script, no logic. If 3 different real people believe the same thing, all shills agree to pretend that those 3 real people are all one person. Hypocritical because shills have hundreds of alt accounts. And their alt accounts have personalities, like a shill will pretend to be an alt-right person, and then a moderate, and then an SJW, but then because they're special, they forget to log out of their account when they argue with themselves. You see it on Reddit all the time. They're not very smart. And they also hope that by claiming 3 different real people are alt accounts, it'll somehow become true, because that's their logic. They're dumb. And they lie, so deceiving and being deceived. Alright, bald-faced lies. What do you expect? These people are liars, and they are stupid. Shills may arbitrarily compromise, but if 10% of the apples are poisoned, just throw all the apples out. They're all tainted. And yeah, you know, like the bowl of M&M candies, 10% are poisoned. Do you want to reach in there and take a gamble? So, yeah, evil tree, evil spring, etc. You can't get good water out of a bad spring, and a bad tree does not bring good fruit. And a good tree might drop a few stinkers. I mean, let's be real, sometimes a tree or a bush, the fruit quality might vary. In other words, everyone poops. Anyway, alright, names and visuals. 33 CC numerology. Go for Pythagorean, Chaldean, and English, that's the most common. Hand signs, terminology and phrasing, blatant lies, monetization and paywalls, popularity. Popularity is a sham. The numbers are fake and inflated, and they can purchase fake subscribers and fake clicks. There's like these Chinese and Indian click farms, and it's stupid. And they get promoted. Yeah, like if somebody gets famous on YouTube and all of their comments are from bots, or like only bots comment on them, yeah, you know. Alright, black and white duality imagery. BW initials. Look for those, like Brave Wilderness is one example. MMWWCCLL are some common initials. They like alliteration. And LL is 77, upside down. Alchemy and transformation words, images of bricks and building, and you should know this by now. Behavior. Alright, real women remember how MTF treated us. Extreme psycho-hatred without a cause. Now we know why. Though they only said, we're stupid, and they gave no actual reasoning as to why they hated us. Group harassment. Yes, they will get into groups of 3 to 5 and harass single real women. They just do that. Oh, and they'll freak out if you tell them that they suck. Like, they can dish it out in a group, but they can't take it one-on-one. And they'll do that when they're 4 years old. I remember this. They're born evil. There are people in this world they're evil, and they're born evil. There's no tragic backstory to the villain. They're just born evil. There's no Wicked, that movie Wicked stuff, where they're trying to tell you that they're justified or something. Alright, when you find a real person, be careful not to be deceived by convincing shills. Trial and error. You're gonna make mistakes and you're just gonna have to push on through life. You're probably gonna get fooled a few times, but you'll get better. You'll learn. So, when you find a real person, discuss and share as much info as possible as fast as you can so you can both get the word out. Alright, next section. Making content, rough outline, record, edit, and distribute, or you can send it to somebody that will manage your content for you. And that will be a load off your mind. You don't need to worry about getting your own stuff out there. You just produce it, and somebody else does distribution. Consider how you phrase stuff. And speds want to be smart, so they get off on gathering info from trusting real people. You know how people are. When they're insecure, they will overcompensate, and they will become obsessed with trying to get some achievement. And again, never use Discord, never use shill platforms, never talk about personal info. Be as vague as possible, never ever give out more than the bare minimum of personal info. Remove ego. Don't be proud of anything, hide all of your ego shit, don't mention any names or personal identifiers, and be as anonymous as possible. Don't give yourself a unique name or state any personal identifiers. Swallow your pride. Be extremely vague for yourself, but when you're talking about something, be as specific as possible, depending on the topic. You'll know what to do when you get to that bridge. Shills parrot name and info as much as possible. It's like some hypnosis thing, where cartoon hypnotists act, and, shills will act the same way. I'm sure you can think of an example. And they can't do that if you don't give them anything to work with. So, they can't yell your name a million times if they don't know what your name is. Talk in third person, and here's an example. A person has a job as an orderly at a mental ward, and sometimes talking about your job can get you fired, and that's not fair, but that's how it is. So, rephrase your story as if it's from a friend of a friend. Minimize. If you're gonna tell a story from your personal life, consider how it will be told by somebody who heard it from someone else. Less is more. As primitive graphics spark imagination, optical illusions make your brain fill in blanks, minimal storytelling can give audiences unique personal experiences. And tangent, brains are lazy and dishonest. That is a different thing for a different day. Don't overthink, be humble and simple, toss around ideas you think are cool. Don't worry about looking dumb, don't bite off more than you can chew, admit when you don't know something, and encourage others to chime in. Shills always push in the comments below. Shills and paid channels press in the comments below for the algorithm, and some put out bad content to get real people to quote-unquote correct them. CinemaSins does this all the time. They'll just put out something wrong, and then people go, that's not right, and the people have fallen for the trap. It's a trick. There's always too much stuff to get into, so take an easy pace, keep around the topic. You can always make new content later, and later always comes. So, there's always so much to say, but if you haven't brought up a topic in a while, you can bring it up a month later and have new things to add to it and keep it fresh and alive. And it also defeats thread sliding. Your memory is important. It's very important to remember the past. Generally, shills for platforms are confined to that platform only. Other shills can also be on multiple platforms, but will only tell partial truth mixed with lies. Ye shall know them by their fruits. And that's what Jesus says, and Jesus is the Son of God, and read the King James New Testament. That tells you all of everything you need to know. Nobody believes in Odin or Buddha. Nobody says, Odin, damn it. Nobody uses Buddha as a swear word, so that says everything. And that's also another topic that's been covered. So this is why it's good to have different people talking, because different people will bring more to the table. Alright. Real people grow and develop. Fake people stagnate, freak out, do damage control, and attack real people relentlessly. You shall know them by their fruits. Wheat are humble, tares are arrogant. Tares do non-stop smear campaigns in real life. You definitely seen this a lot in real life. Humans enrage tares just by existing. And remember your real actual life. If you're a real person, freaks are just gonna get really angry because you exist, and they will do a smear campaign, they will insult you for no reason. They're horrible, and they just attack. They're soulless. They're not people. And if you make a mistake, tares will never let you hear the end of it, but if one of the other tares makes a mistake, everyone else turns a blind eye to it. Oh, turning a blind eye. Makes you wonder. Anyway, so ignore when they yell at you, like when they're screaming at you because you made a math mistake, or you mispronounced something, or you got a detail scrambled, like they'll scream at you over it. But just keep being a truthful human, and just keep making good content, and the tares will burn up with rage because they can't stop you, and that makes them mad. Avoid jargon or anything that will identify you as a member of a group. Keep it like the wind that appears out of nowhere, and no one knows where it will come from or where it will go. Nobody knows what the wind does. It makes you wonder about weather predictions. Tares get scared when they can never tell what a human's going to do, and they get scared when they never know when a woke human will show up. You see, tares are pretty clockwork, and humans are spontaneous. And there is an awakening in real people. I'm happy to announce that. Shills get paid for what they do. They hate competition. Humans love community. Tares will try to smear anyone that they perceive as a threat to their shekels, and humans really want more people to join the scene. It's exactly like businesses they're into competition and tearing each other down, espionage, sabotage. They're all about money, cutting costs. Businesses are satanic at their core. That is how it is. That's just the way it is. And that's the way this society works. Capitalism is satanic, and communism gives X communities a bad name. That's already been covered. So be spontaneous, creative, and unlimited. There's too many things to talk about, and shills are forced to stay on a few topics that they beat the hell out of. Shills will only talk about celebrities and events and video games and stupid crap, and humans have real lives, so we have a lot to talk about. And all humans we essentially have pretty much the same lives, minor details, but the same common threads. Don't say things that will get you deplatformed. Be careful with what you say. Limitations breed creativity. Humans are creative. There are many ways to tell the truth and reach out to other people. We're creative, and we know how to be like the wind and appear out of nowhere. Alright, tone down your accent, talk like a weather reporter, don't talk like you do in real life, and microphone distortion. It's like how the camera will distort your appearance, and a microphone will distort your voice. Not only that, but you have a different manner of speaking. Alright, random thing. Newscasting. Do weather reports try to harvest faith and belief to actually determine the weather? Also, there are ice wizards and wizard blizzards and storm elementals in media. It gives you something to think about. Back on topic, keep it vague and open-ended to provoke discussion. People love simple, rough things that get their imagination engaged. People love rough, coarse, primitive things a lot. Notice how modern graphics are a pissing contest of complexity. Look at print ads from the 1970s and compare the average of print ads from the 70s to today. And compare supplementary art for video games in the 1980s to art for video games in 2010. Notice the trends. Join in, don't be shy, more to come. And yes, these are outlines, and yes, I'm very tired right now. But don't worry, I will be back, and I hope you will be back too, and God bless everyone.